Guys, we are here today at One More TCG with the man himself, Barry. We got the cEDH tournament here. It started at noon, and the winner is getting that beautiful, beautiful Mox Diamond. We'll go see how everything's going. See you guys in the video.
In case you missed out on winning the Mox Diamond, you also missed out on us giving away a Harley Davidson today. Too bad you didn't show the fuck up. Joke's on you. That's not getting given away. That's just somebody parked their shit in front of our door, and now it's there. So guys, I do want to tell y'all we had a crazy tournament today. It's still going on all day. Right now they're in here behind these glass and these windows. They're in here playing. They're in here just probably dicking around, most of them, but they're playing, okay? We're gonna see who's gonna win this bad boy today. It is the Mox Diamond, and then we got pizza on the way. So even if you're at home and you see this like 2 days from now, my pizza boxes will probably be in the trash can out back, so you can always come down. You can go over there and there'll probably be a slice or two in the trash. And the reason why you're eating out of the trash is because your ass didn't come down here. So get down here today, tomorrow, the next day, and come on inside. Let's go. Let's go. Look at these. The boards are for sale. Somebody come down, give me, I don't know, $400 for all 3 boards with the cards. We got a Magic 8 ball, and it says, the first comment on this video we make will receive one of those one-piece blue boxes right there. Okay, but the thing is, this has to say something good. So will somebody receive this box? As I see it, yes. Oh shit, as I see it, yes. So that means first comment in the video, I don't give a shit who it is. It could be hi, it could be a smiley face, you're getting that. And then let's go over here to what I was talking about, okay? So we have cameras and stuff up here. We got it on. We got a commentary in the back. We got Price and Magic over here. Tournament. People's waiting on some stuff. But I hope it's, yeah, I hope somebody wins. Actually, I really hope they all tie. That way I get to keep my card. But I don't really care. I love you guys. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out. And remember, this goes to a good cause. We're raising money for the animal shelter. Help out your all's animal shelter, guys, for real. It does make a difference. Every dollar buys a dog food, okay? It's like those sad, we could play Sarah McLachlan in the background if y'all would like. Maybe that might help, and then show some pictures of some dogs in cages, okay? So do your part, make a difference, and be a good human. Bye. There we go.
Guys, we already have our first winner in round 1. Mike, you won in less than 20 minutes, dude. That's classic cEDH. Clearly everything went right for you this game. What happened?
I mean, you know, I got the luck of the draw when it came to seed order. I got seed 2. 1 was some crazy slop, like weird artifact deck, so that immediately tells me I don't need to worry about that. I'm playing Temna Thras, so I'm just either able to immediately try and win with Thoracle Consult, Thoracle Tainted Pact, like as quickly as possible, or I'm just trying to grind out the game. 3 was Kennen, which was the thing I was mainly worried about, and then seed 4 was Yeva. Like, I just basically have to outrace him when it comes to trying to win before Yeva can just flash in and like win on top of people.
That's what I love about like watching all of our friends that we normally play with. Yeah. Is like you already know how they play, but again, it's luck of the draw, and you're competing for a prize, which is fun and it's fantastic. But at the end of the day, none of these guys in here are people that you can just like look over. Right. Like you, because if you got a bad draw, maybe you didn't win turn 1 so quick. But like at the end of the day, a fantastic fucking win on your part, my guy. Yeah. I was talking to some people beforehand, and they were asking me who I was predicting to be in the top 4. And I said, well, as long as Mike gets some good hands, I see Mike going all the way. But I mean, hell, there's a lot of guys in here you can say that about. Like right now, we got Evan over here doing Evan things with a Tolly.
It's pretty wild stuff with a Tolly.
I mean, Vivi's kind of like really shut off right now, and Dragon is kind of stalled out with mana, and then Crystal's not doing the thing.
Pretty good pod for Viva.
It's definitely a good Atali pod. I mean, he's got getting Troger out so early. He's the Monarch right now. He's already got Breach on the board. Come on. So I mean, down to 2 life, and I don't see Food Chain or Squee on the board. So damn, it's an interesting game so far. But how do you think his pod's going to turn out right now?
Well, I mean, You have Vivi with, looks like that's 4, and they have that adventure card that is like a curiosity, but it exiles instead. That's a little scary. He can go off pretty quick on that. But, I mean, it seems like currently they're basically just trying to survive an Atali turn.
So for everybody watching right now, I'm an Atali player myself, and one thing you don't want to see is you do not want to see a turn 1 Atali, and you do not want to see somebody being able to go and constantly bring Atali out. Like, you'll see a lot of copy spells for copying creatures. Right now, like, the win con really through Atali is, if you want to doing it with Atali and do Atali flips, you're needing Squee the Immortal and you need Food Chain. You're making infinite mana where every time you exile Squee to Food Chain, you're profiting 1 red mana. And there's other ways to win. You can use copying effects. Like, you can copy a creature with like a Twin Flame, which was 1 and a red, and then flash in Dualcaster Mage. And every time Dualcaster Mage comes in, it makes a copy of a sorcery or is it sorcery or instant? Yeah. Yep. So then when that triggers, you make another copy of Dualcaster Mage that flashes in, and you can make an infinite loop unless somebody can counter it and stop it.
Right.
But
so
then
you just have infinite 2/2s to swing out and kill somebody.
Yeah, you're gonna either swing out and kill somebody, or you're gonna draw everybody's decks out and playing their shit for free, or exiling it.
Yep.
So the game right now, he's got an Imp Recruiter out, so he's got Imp Recruiter on the board, so that automatically, you're already going to see Squee going into hand with an Imp Recruiter. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
You grab Squee 100% of the time.
Yes, absolutely. Looks like you just got an Orcish Bowmaster off of a flip.
Dang, he got the...
Yeah, he just got the new one.
So the Orcish Bowmaster that Evan just got through that Atali flip is a card that just came out on the new Hobbit set. It is it's the foil one. It's super pretty. Barry went and got it. Well, he pulled it out of a pack yesterday, or no, it's the box topper out of a collector box. And I was like, oh, I know it's your box, but can I buy the card off of you? He said, yeah, absolutely. Eric and I are really good friends. He wanted that card so bad. He just crop rotted. Okay.
Yeah, he got a crop rod off the crystal.
Oof. Yeah.
And it looks like a heat shimmer.
Okay.
Oh no, never mind. He got defense grid.
It's not bad. And so, like, I went and got the card, and I went and gave it to Eric, because Eric's the kind of guy, he doesn't want to buy things for himself. But this is one card the guy wanted, and he's a good friend. So, like, I'm not gonna sit here and not let this guy get the card. But right now, what we're seeing is Atali continuing to do Atali things.
He decided not to cast. Looks like Crystal talked him out of casting the defense grid just in case he fails on these flips.
Yeah,
not a bad idea.
Another thing you'll see with an Atali build is, like, there's cards you can't, like, you want to play them because they're really good cards. But when it comes to, if I try to put this on the stack, somebody can counter that card and you can't play it, because every time you get an Atali flip, you get to cast those cards for free. But there are a lot of cards you'll see that you're like, man, that's a good card, like a Hullbreaker Horde. Yeah, I'm sorry, that card needs to go immediately into exile. Nobody is going to let you play that off an Atali flip. They will counter that every single time. And then, like, even then, when you do have stuff like that, if you die in the game, or somebody like board wipes or anything like that, or destroys the creature or whatever, it will go back to that player's graveyard that you got it from.
Right.
And then if they got something where they can pull it out of the graveyard, they get to go. The card you just stole from them, they're probably going to get a play.
Right.
So there's a lot of things you'll see that it's just a lot of big decision making. And from a guy's perspective of, I've been playing as long as Mike has. I've been playing Magic for less than a year. I've been playing cEDH for like not even 6 months. But I've had a lot of great teachers, like people like Mike, guys like Brees, Jason, Evan, Eric, all that are, and Eric is very new to cEDH as well. But he's been playing Magic for several years longer than I have. And there's a lot of things that you're going to see. Right now, like, this is an interesting game. Like, even though it looks like, you see, like Jason is, like, looks like he's shut off right now, he's really not. Vivi is just one of those decks that it's just, I hate to say it, it pisses you off. It pisses you off to play against it. And it...
Rhystic Study.
We got a Rhystic on the board? That's a card that's controversial. My personal opinion, I love Rhystic Study. I don't care if you have it. I'm gonna steal it from you. I would love to. When I get an Atali flip, if I don't get one, if I get a tutor out of your deck, a Rhystic Study, Mystic Remora, I could keep going with cards. Like, there's a lot of cards that you don't want your opponents to have, but it's going to make them even madder when you put that on your board. Or if you exile, that's even the funnier part. Purposely exiling a card like that, man, fantastic.
So I will say this is a kind of a tough pod for the Atali because they're basically playing off of the only black that's available in the pod is seat 1. Yeah. So they're basically just trying to constantly hit Ur-Dragon, yeah. So they're basically just hoping that they can hit a tutor off of Ur-Dragon off of Atali flips because otherwise what is that? Is that Miram?
Oh, Miram.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Eric making some. Okay.
Making some.
Ur-Dragon making some weird changes. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That's a little something right there.
Yeah. So looks like you hit a Final Fortune, which he probably doesn't want to play.
So the deck we're talking about was seat 1 in Mike's pod. Yeah. It is relatively a decent deck, more like a bracket 3. It's not a bracket 4, but it's a very artifact heavy deck. I really don't know how it functions personally. Yeah, I'm not a fan of artifact heavy decks. People make them work. I don't. Hell, I play Gruul for a reason. I don't have to think. I just play shit. Mm-hmm. And steal people's shit. That's the best part. I steal people's shit in the game. Fantastic for me. Except with this Nick Fury build. The Nick Fury build that I have that JD is running today, he's made a couple edits, put a J-Will in there, he put a Hexing Squelcher and a Smothering Tithe. I mean, the deck could go hard. It's essentially Rogside with silence effects. And it is, personally, because Mike built a similar version of it. Yeah. And I also stole one of the cards that he put in there because I was like, oh, that makes more sense. And which was the Jennifer Walters card from Marvel. It is just genuinely is a fun build, which I'm glad to see that after I built mine and talked to you and I looked at other builds, they're all fairly similar, but they all have their own little unique aspects to them to where could one of them win today? Absolutely. I genuinely wish you were playing your Nick Fury build that you did, but I also I need to see you go for the win. I didn't like the Nick Fury build that I made. I put that list together before it like as soon as it dropped, basically. I didn't really look at other people's builds. I saw some people were playing, like, I don't personally like Calling Ritual, and I don't like Mnemonic Betrayal, and every deck that is playing those, they play those, and I don't think they're very good when Mnemonic Betrayal inevitably is just going to kill your commander, which I get. Nick Fury is basically just he's a one mana Rogside, that's 5 collar, but but at the same time, like, the benefit of being able to play him for cheap is being able to cast Fierce Guardianship and Deflecting Swat for free. And if you kill him off of the fucking calling ritual, then you can't play those for free anymore. So I don't know. I just don't, and I think Mnemonic Betrayal is not a good card in this meta in general, just because there are so many decks doing things that aren't going to be playing cards that you want to be able to get out of their graveyard anyway. So they're going to have a bunch of cards in their graveyard that you don't give a shit about. It just doesn't seem very good. Next. I don't know. It's like, I have it in there right now, but it's one of the cards I'm going to cut. I'm probably going to cut it for like a Smothering Tithe, or the new one, where everybody draws. Which I'm not really. I'm a fan of it. I feel like it's more like it's a.
People are big on it, but
I think it's more of a
personal opinion. I don't think it's very good.
I think it's a casual card.
Maybe.
I think it's a casual card.
Maybe,
but I don't really. I mean, yeah, if somebody wheels, yeah, you're gonna get 8 treasures out of that. Cool. I mean, sick. But even then, like, I don't know. I just there's a question in chat right now about a ruling issue because the judge is standing here over the stream. So I'm gonna go ask what's going on. Do we have a ruling issue right now, Judge, or what's going on? Oh, you're just watching? Oh, okay.
He's bullying.
He's bullying you.
Yeah, look at him. He's standing there menacingly.
Have you seen your board state, sir?
Hey, guess what? About to die.
Yeah, I can see that. Are you disappointed with your first game?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
What was it like getting all your artifacts cut off?
I had already mulled to 5, and I had kept a hand where I didn't really have a game plan. I had Forge Masters, so I was like, maybe I'll draw stuff, and I have some 0-drop artifacts. I'll sack them and just try and find something and hope I draw into something. Like, my draws lead me down some way to go.
Yeah.
And then he played that, and I was like, oh, every win condition in this deck,
Is
even
just
if
shut
I
off.
had the perfect hand,
Just shut off now.
cannot. It is a colorless artifact deck. I think there are 3 cards in the deck that can even remove something.
Thank you for that. I'm sorry that you lost. Also, eat shit.
He basically just board wiped.
I'll choose not.
Yeah,
Trying to stop him at all costs.
yeah, it's Ral. Everybody wants to stop Ral at all costs. What we got going on over here? There we go. Your board's saying half bad.
Well, I almost won him.
Board wipe. Who countered your shit?
Can you read another mana?
I ran, yeah, I needed 1 blue mana, couldn't get it.
He wasted it on actually.
Tough luck. Do you think you can come back from this?
Probably not.
It's okay. I still believe in you. I believe in our build that we made together. You got this. This is the first game. This is round 1. So far, you saw we didn't see it because it was in one of the pods that wasn't on stream. Mike won his turn. His opening was pretty good for what he said. His opening hand was great. He won within 20 minutes. Been walking around. We still have 3 other games going on. We have our game right now on live. You see that Evan, he's playing Atali. He just died off due to, I forget whatever effect was. I wasn't paying attention. We still have 3 games going on. The one here on live, it's a good game. You can see that. Oh wait, no. Jason, did you win? Jason, did you win?
Yes, sir.
Proud of you. Come in here when you're done. We got our second winner now. The guy that just won on live was running VV, and we're about to interview him. So we'll get his perspective, see what he thought, how the game went, because there in the beginning, man, it looked like that game was going in a completely different direction with how Atali was popping off. That game did not go how I thought it was going to go there for a while. So now you popped off there at the end after Atali died off. You came back, you got the dub. What happened?
I got very lucky that Eric presented a win attempt. That was a guaranteed win, and Brees was table police at that point because he's the only one that had any answers. That did facilitate the win. It was difficult because I ran out of free stuff to do, so I had to pop Vivi, so it was all a hope and a prayer at that point. But once they see the Hullbreaker Horror and enough free artifacts, they're done. They know it's over. But yeah, no, that's it. I had a really great opening hand with counter magic and enough lands to get Vivi out early. Turn 2, and then I had the Ophidian Eye the whole time. I was bluffing it so no one freaked out. Well, if anybody knows that I have something like that in my hand, automatically I am the biggest trouble there. And I get it. It's 100%. It's like Atali. If you see a counter, if you see a copy spell,
That's the problem.
You start sweating. But no, that was all. Vivi ran like Vivi should. I did make a minor misplay. When I had 7 mana open, I should have first burned the Atali player for 2, then played the Virtue of Courage. A, it would have been more mana efficient, and 2, it would have killed him sooner between his stuff there. Because at that point he would have died on his turn there, and he would have only gotten rid of like one or two cards. But that's it. Like I said, Atali pretty much helped me win because it got rid of Brees' Savannah, and it took me out of the game too a little bit. It really scared me because it took my Breach away. And while a lot of VV decks don't run Breach, I really like Breach just because so many options in the graveyard, and I like Brain Freeze to just mill people out.
One thing I always notice about when I get to play against you is that your deck, it's meta, but it's got your little twist on it every time, and I respect it because it's always fun to be unique when it comes into playing cEDH, but it's also fun being competitive, playing in the meta, but also like, oh, you might not like a card, so like, oh, I want to play this card instead because it fits more of my play style. Yeah, it's not the full meta, but who wants to play the exact same deck as another 100 people? I want to be a little different. You know, the card might not be the most popular, it might be 2 cents, who cares? If it's a playable card and it's going to pop off on the deck, might as well just run it, honestly.
Well, that's how I am. Like, so for example, Alex and Michael Spence are 2 people I go to with my questions. Now, do I always listen to them? Of course not. Gwenum is the prime example of that, and Dahada. But no, I hate extra turn spells that cause you to end the game, lose after that.
Like last chance. Last chance.
It always feels like, and again, this is just me being a bad player, I honestly believe, it's there to do what Eric did. It's to eat interaction and hopefully give you the chance to win. And so I have compromised some cards, like I took out Gandalf because I felt that was too much of a pet card. But,
the one from today?
Yeah, from today. I'm going to test it. I have not tested it yet, so that's why I took it out and put Defense Grid back in, because it's just another silence effect in a deck that can't have silence effects. Sort of. But yeah, cards that I run that nobody else does. Every once in a while I see a big Vivi deck that runs Burgi, but Burgi it's a red mana battery if I need it, but most of the time it's the Horn. Because then if I got some good Rhystic Study draws, boom, 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 Curiosity, then the win. Yep. Mindbreak Trap. Honestly, a lot of Vivi decks don't run Mindbreak Trap anymore.
That's right, you do have Mindbreak Trap in that thing.
And I did look at a lot of the Vivi lists in the last few days, and I took out Force of Negation, mostly because that's more of a table police card, and it doesn't help me during my turn. That's actually what became Defense Grid, was Force of Negation, because now that's a piece that helps me win on my turn versus somebody else. My fellow VV player over there hopefully celebrating. I don't know how he did.
I hope he doesn't win. I love Alex, but fuck him. I don't need two VV players in the top 4.
I do. It's gonna be funnier that way.
Especially when you pop off before him.
Yeah, well, no, it'd be like having 2 Atali players in there. It's just, oh god, what this is this nightmare.
Yep, every time, man.
No, I mean, I do run some cards, but I'd say I try to think about how the meta is working. Sundering Eruption is another card that I kind of don't like having in there. I'm thinking of taking it out for something similar, Valakut's Awakening.
That dude, 100% personal opinion. Yeah, swap that out. I love Valakut.
I think Valakut will be more usable, but the simple fact of the matter is, a Sundering Eruption on a Gaia's Cradle, it usually ruins somebody's fun.
Yeah.
But mostly it's there as either A, the 27th land, or B, it's a 3-drop pitch card to Pyrokinesis or Blazing Shoal or something like that. So I needed something there, but I didn't have a Valakut's Awakening, and I felt like printing one.
One thing that I've always liked about having that in my hand is if I got that and Chrome Mox and a couple other things to get, J-Will out turn 1. Yeah, I'm gonna imprint that on my Chrome Mox every single time.
Oh yeah.
Get my 3 mana that I need with my 2 and a red. Get J-Will out. Look at somebody like, oh, you got 7 cards in hand? Well, give me a 7 red mana. I'm gonna go cast Atali on turn 1. Eat shit. Little things like that. It's like at the time, like you could play that card and it be beneficial, especially if like you got a slow hand and you got 3 bad draws or something, and you're like, oh, I'll just cast that. Put those at the bottom. I'm gonna go grab some new cards. Maybe you end up getting your WinCon in hand. Maybe it's more slop. Who knows? There's multiple uses for that card. It's not that it's a bad card. It's a really good card. But it has functions that you can use it for, but it's better for, in my instance, to use it under my Chrome Mox.
Oh, yeah. No, and that's exactly it, is that I think Valakut will have more flexibility in the deck. Unfortunately, it is a tap land, but if that's early in the game and I need that land, like if it's turn 1, and I'm like, I'll just play it tapped. It's a land. That's why I'm on the fence about it. I've thought about just taking it out altogether and putting in another land, but
nah.
No. The more versatility, the more options, and the more things I can cast that are non-creatures, just seems really good.
Oh yeah, 100%. Congratulations, sir, on your round 1 win. Hopefully I see you in the championship round.
That's my hope. I hope I get there, but thank you very much for putting the tournament on, man.
I got you. That's all we're here for. Glad to help.
I'm going to slide right on by you here.
$450 card for $120.
Dude, I can't.
Walking around the shop trying to sell a $450 card for $120.
I don't have the money right now.
Takers. The hobby is dead. The hobby is dead.
Hobby's not.
20%. Can't even sell shit at 20% here at one.
Hobby's not dead. Your boy just broke. You won. I forget what commander are you running again?
Lumra, Belle of the Woods.
Oh, good old mono green.
Good old mono green.
Nobody took a draw in the first round. So, what was the mindset going into this game? How was the opening hand? Well, how did everything go for you?
So we were C4, not looking good. Had Rogsai, Nick Fury, TNT, not looking great. Second 7 had some acceleration in the that Lotus Petal, Ancient Tombs. It's good acceleration. I had a Vexing Bauble. And so I was here to ride on the Vexing Bauble and hope that TNT had some good interaction. Nick Fury, insane hand, had an insane push. Fortunately, Vexing Bauble saved us. They both saged it, but they had to pass turn after that.
Yeah.
And then it was, Rogsai was out of gas. So it's kind of me and TNT just going back and forth. They had Cabbage Merchant just getting so much mana.
Oh, God.
We were able to draw Tezzeret. And he was able to get us both Mox Diamond for some acceleration and Amulet of Vigor, which is a big Lumra combo piece. And we were actually able to put something together on the end step of my turn where TNT tapped out for a very big Wong Shitong, completely tapped out of mana. And we were able to instant speed start pushing with Mirror Pool to make copies of Lumra. Nick Fury had a Chain of Vapor, so some politics came up. And eventually a deal was made that that I would not interact with any permanents that Nick Fury had, and because that was what the deal was, I went ahead and did a different win line that got me there. Okay. So yeah, a little letter to the law there in the politics, but it is what it is.
You know, you hate to see politics when it comes into any kind of play, especially in a tournament, but hey, a win's a win at the end of the day. You're one step closer to winning it all. Guess we're about to start round 2 to see who you're going to beat the shit out of now.
Well, I'm definitely excited. Hopefully not C4. That's what I'm hoping for. Anything not C4, we're good.
Oh yeah, guys, there's one thing that you don't want to ever be when you're playing in cEDH, because you have the lowest win chance possible. You do not want to be C4. It's such a bad.
Definitely don't want to be mono green C4.
Yeah, it's even worse. I mean, hey, if you're playing mono blue, you'd be fine. Could play Urza, then C4 would be fine.
Just gotta work with what you're given.
Yeah, dude. Well, hey, congratulations,
Thanks,
man.
boss.
I guess we're gonna start round 2 and see who's gonna play. Let me update this.
All right, draw and see.
We're ending round 1 now.
Oh, goody.
So
Go grab them.
yeah, so guys, these are gonna be the new pods, and oh god, three of the winners in pod 1. You're gonna be on stream. So I'm gonna need Alexander, Brees, Joe, and JD.
Pod 1, seat 1. Pod 1, seat 1.
So, what up, Bizer? Thank you for being. Don't leave me hanging, dude. All right, please take over. Free food, boys. Should have been here. And girls. Or people in general.
The basic hope is that Nate is cards. It's the card that fucks literally just me. Great.
Man, I am on unpaid time right now.
Yeah. Wait.
They give you an invoice.
What other? Who won the other game? He won his game. He's 2-0 right now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for those of you just joining, we are currently in the middle of round 2 of the cEDH tournament here at One More TCG. Tim the Thras versus Ral Monsoon Mage versus Vivi Orniteer versus Lumra, and things are not looking great. Vivi is currently trying to get out of this position, but an unfortunate Jessica's Will does not put you in a good position. It's kind of on gamble or bust at the moment, and I don't actually know how many cards in hand Jason has at the moment. 4's not terrible. You could have worse odds off of gamble. But what do you get here? He hasn't activated Vivi, I don't think, so he could be getting, if he has other spells to cast in his hand, he could go and get Curiosity. He does have that Strike It Rich to flashback, but he's flashing it back now. Yeah, I think it has to be Curiosity, but what did he discard? I don't see that he discarded anything. Oh, it got Mental Misstep. That's right. Nate cast Mental Misstep. And yes, it does. Yeah, he had to activate Vivi to cast Jessica's Will. That's correct. Hard Smothering Tide pass. Mike is trying to make up for the fact that he cannot play his creatures effectively by ramping artifact mana, and of course, Nate cannot pay unless he has like a Simian Spirit Guide in his hand. He can't pay for the Smothering Tide. So Mike is getting at least 1 treasure, and realistically, I don't know that anybody's going to be paying for it. So he's probably going to get a full rotation's worth of treasures as he throws the dice across the table. See, can Lumra drop another horrifying stacks piece? I really hope so, because I think it'd be funny. I thought that was Karn, and I really, I really thought he was going to drop another Stax piece. But no, Tezzeret, Cruel Captain. My favorite edge card. But that's just because I'm a huge fan of Tezzeret. You have the bauble. I guess you go get Zeranorb here, because it's 1 or less. Yeah, so I think you go get Zeranorb here. I'm trying to think what else you would need in this position. Soul Ring. I guess he is... It's not staggering amounts of mana, especially if one of your lands doesn't tap for anything. Let's see what he found. I don't think he's revealed it yet. It looks like Ian is still searching. Ral seems functionally checked out. And, like, I don't really know, like I said, first of all, he has to draw land to even have a chance in this game. He has to resolve Ral. Tim the Thras had a little bit of a rough go because, yep, and there's the Soul Ring finally we see. And Tezzeret, of course, gets that nice counter back on him to mitigate the fact that you just paid for loyalty. Soul Ring also could theoretically help you to pay for those Smothering Tithe triggers if you were really convinced. But at this point, I think you might be getting close to just it not mattering anymore. Jason, VV has a decent amount of mana at this point. He's not being hurt too bad by the Tabernacle, but does still have to contend with Vexing Bauble. With 2 cards in hand and failing a gamble resolve, it looks like he's just passing, I believe he said. You might be thinking. There's a lot of voices going on out there. It's hard to differentiate who from who. Looks like Jason is in the tank. Mike tries to sneak that Smothering Tithe among his lands, Dryad Arbor style. I don't think it blends in nearly as well. Okay. Jason got 5 cards in hand, so he could theoretically go in this turn. For blue. Can't quite tell. Ooh, looks like that might be a Fierce Guardianship. Savor the moment. Seems like he's going in. I love when decks get to play these kinds of like off-meta cards, and Savor the Moment is really good in VV. You don't necessarily need to untap, you can just rebuy VV's activation, which is basically the same thing as untapping. But he does probably need to leave at least 1 land untapped, because you will have to pay for that Tabernacle trigger, and spending VV to pay for that Tabernacle trigger functionally renders Savor the Moment useless. So I suspect he will have to pass here. Merchant Scroll goes and gets Dizzy Spell, goes and gets Curiosity, but not this turn. So it looks like he's gearing up for next turn. So yeah, VV seems like it's in a really good position right now. And that Vexing Bauble is really going to do work, because notably... Oh wait, no. Okay, yeah. The nice thing is that because Ian Witten found Soul Ring, he can at least, if push comes to shove, sack the Bauble to maybe turn on some of the cards in Mike's hand. Or theoretically, Nate has a handful of cards he has not yet played. Maybe he's got some counter magic in there that's free. So maybe the two of them can sort of leverage him into sacrificing that. Yep, and there's 6 blue out of VV. And yep. Alright, Quicksilver Elemental, the 1-card combo in this deck with your commander. Not gonna do much right this exact moment. But notably, Quicksilver Elemental will copy VV, which will let you activate VV. And and it keeps that ability so you can activate it again to copy VV again, activate the ability, and make infinite mana. But without VV, you can't copy it with Quicksilver Elemental, which means the Quicksilver Elemental is just a 3/4 on the battlefield. But of course, as long as it's on the field, as soon as VV hits the stack again, it will turn into a problem once more. So Deadly Rollick just kind of delays the problem, doesn't actually solve it. Well, there's the Soy Spawn, but for 4 mana, you are not getting rid of that Tabernacle. But yes, Gaia's Cradle will at least let him care much less about the Tabernacle. He can actually start playing his creatures again. But for now, he's still kind of just, I think, relegated to passing the turn. I don't know what else he could feasibly do here. It looks like he's got maybe 1 or 2 cards in hand. But at the very least, he can start finally building back up his creature count. And maybe with VV gone and no easy way to cast it again, the game will slow to a pace where he can sort of catch back up. Maybe the game is even slowed to a pace where Ral could feasibly catch back up, because you don't need a lot to get back in the game. That is... I expect nothing less. Italy has won first game so far. You said turn 3. Before, I was kind of watching the stream before I joined it, and I was likening Italy to just a slot machine, where sometimes it does the thing, and sometimes you hit 3 spells and then you pass. Cradle, we're going to see so much Cradle. Looking through all these lists, Cradle is abundant and everywhere. Yeah, I highlighted interesting cards that I wanted to talk about. I really like Tezzeret because he's just so good at just gaining loyalty and still letting you search so many times. Also, we have not yet talked about the fact that Ian plays his lands up top. I don't know how we've gone this long without mentioning it. I mean, it is a lands deck. Yes, VV has been removed. He tried to cast Quicksilver Elemental, and Mike hard cast Deadly Rollick to get around that Vexing Bauble and actually kill VV before the loop could be performed. So, slowed down, can't cast VV on board. He's gonna need to find something. Maybe he's got a ritual in hand or 2, I don't know. Wish I could tell what that artifact was. It looks like a card from Ixalan, but Lumra's hitting the stack. Get back your Urza Saga, super good. Is that Zeranorn? Is that a really weird version of Zeranorn? Amulet of Vigor, thank you. I'm not good with, like, Secret Lair arts. Amulet of Vigor, yes. Amulet of Vigor, huge for the deck, obviously. Untapping all the lands that Lumra gets is a big part of, you know, what lets the deck go infinite. Also, did he hard mill that Cradle? Because if so, that's really funny. Because those are some pretty good Lumra hits. If you got Cradle and City, and you get your Urza Saga back. I have a nice appreciation for these mono green decks. There's another one in the event that hopefully we'll get to see at some point. They're very different axes of play, but you just get to play so many weird and interesting cards that a lot of these other, like, pile lists just aren't playing. Like Amulet of Vigor. It's such a fun card that just has no other real home other than, like, exactly in stuff like this. And Brandon is also playing Yeva, and there's a lot of fun stuff in there that I hope we get to talk about at some point on the stream. But I believe both these decks are on Ashaya combo nonsense, because Ashaya is the poster child of mono green combo nonsense. Of course, the nice thing about Lumra is that you can also do other stuff at the same time. Anyone playing Cabbage Man? Yes, there are a lot of people on Cabbage Man. I don't think these mono green decks are playing a lot of him. But I believe Mike is playing Cabbage Man. I know some of these other Thrasios lists are playing Cabbage Man. Oh, commander-wise. From the list that I have access to, I do not believe so. I don't think anybody is playing him as their commander. I think the only 2 mono-green commanders in this event are Lumra and Yeva. So we don't get to see him as a commander, unfortunately. Like I would also like to see that, because I've seen recently... to answer your question, no. City of Traders is play a land, not land entering. So because he has not played his land for a turn, he does in fact get to keep the city. Yeah, he reanimated the fetch with Lumra. Formidable Speaker, one of my favorite cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed, a set that I invested heavily in. It is a one-shot activation of survival, but you can discard anything to it. It doesn't have to be a creature, which is a substantial difference, because there are a lot of times I've been in positions where you just don't have a creature to discard to survival. And also, he untaps a Gaia's Cradle. He just does it all. This card does everything. And I think we're going to start seeing Loomer shenanigans. But what this card lets him do is it lets him sacrifice as many lands as he likes, and he reveals cards from the top of his deck, and he can put all of the lands he finds this way onto the battlefield. And there is another very powerful land that I was hoping we would get to talk about, because it lets you rebuy any card in your graveyard. Why am I blanking? I'm blanking on so many named cards right now. Oh my god. Of course, Loomer dies to state-based actions, but that is exactly where you want her in this context. Because you need her to be dead, and there's not a clean way to sack her on the board at present. But if you have no lands, it doesn't matter. She dies anyway. I believe that is more than enough mana to recast Lumra and everything back again. Shifting Woodland was the name of the card. I finally remembered Shifting Woodland. Oh, and there's Yavimaya to help make... it gives his Tabernacle finally a way to tap for mana, which is really nice. I don't think it's super important, because he has so many lands in his graveyard that one's not going to be the difference maker. But, you know, it's more mana. It's always nice. Shifting Woodland, super good. Copies a permanent in your graveyard. Again, I don't think it matters right this second, because he's going to get all his permanents back anyway, because they're almost all lands. But it is really good because it lets you basically bin cards and then copy them later, and they can't be counted that way, which is, you know, it's cEDH. Everybody has 20 counters at all times. See, this currently feels like Loomer's game to lose, although without knowing the cards in hand, I don't know exactly where you go from this position. I do not believe he's activated Tezzeret yet, so there might be something he could fetch off Tezzeret. Maybe he goes and gets his Zuran Orb. That seems likely. But if he gets Zuran Orb, he obviously has to sacrifice the Vexing Bauble, and you run into problems maybe turning on your opponent's counterspells. Use Tez to untap Sol Ring? Okay. That would make sense, because shifting copies are... yeah. I don't believe Zuran Orb is currently in his grave. I haven't seen it. I suspect he is looking for it, because I do believe he has used Tezzeret, so he can't just go find it. Wastelanding your own stuff is obviously significant in this matchup, or in this scenario, but it is always funny that somebody, that is a thing you can do. Oh, and I spy a Thorn of Amethyst that we're not going to get to see either. Could he just Nature's Rhythm for Aftermath and win? It's probably getting to that territory, yeah. I imagine that this is probably the point of critical mass. So many weird little utility lands that I don't recognize by art alone. It's a position I don't like being in when I can't parse a card at a glance, especially when I'm looking at a stream like this and I don't have a very clear view of everything being played. Obviously, I know the big hits, but some of these secret layer cards are tripping me up. You see, Jason off to the side there. The VV player has tapped out completely. Just hoping it comes to his turn. He's even like got his guy's been phased out for Talongate, so he really just is in a waiting room hoping that it makes it back to his turn. I think at this point the writing's on the wall. I don't feasibly know what would stop Ian from winning the game. It's just a question of how. That's a lesson version of Realms Uncharted. We're getting into Avatar cards I don't even know about. But yeah, attempting to Flusterstorm it, wholly irrelevant. He has more than enough mana to pay for it. He has a functionally infinite amount of mana at this point in time. He pays for it, he bins. I honestly don't even know what you need at this point. Looks like he's got Mirror Pool there. Mirror Pool, Command Beacon, yep, he's assembling, I believe, the Lumra Loop on that one. Yeah, I appreciate the comment. We worked really hard yesterday to get all this set up, and so it's nice that we've. I think I'm pretty happy with the way this looks now. We had to do a lot of work behind the scenes to get this nice and set up, but now I think the stream looks clean, man. I think it looks great. They're debating out there. The game is, as I've already said, the game is functionally over. They're just sort of watching this slow demise play out over the course of this very long and arduous turn. But it looks like they finally conceded. Lumra takes the game, land combos, beating out three fairly aggressive blue decks, I would say. Maybe not Tim the Thras, but Rao and Vivi definitely very aggressive blue decks. But they are no match for that Vexing Bauble, and unfortunately Rao just couldn't even get off one land. So, what are you even supposed to do in that situation? Honestly, it seemed kind of like a 2v1 for a substantial portion of the game. But Vexing Bauble proving why it is so good. So yes, that is round 2, and we will be back in just a little bit for round 3.
Guys, I just walked over to
I don't know.
I just walked over to Barry, and the first words out of his mouth when we're not recording is, Kyle, I ripped 17 collectors. But it's okay, you know why? Because I'm probably going to end up buying all the cards off of him eventually anyway.
I don't know how I did.
Oh, that's fire. That's a good card.
That's 450.
Yeah.
That's 580.
Ooh.
That's 75. Better one.
Oh, that's such a beautiful art.
Yeah. That's a good card.
Oh, the Gleaming Splendor. Oh, the Smog the Magnificent.
2 of them.
Oh, 2 of them.
Don't have
I think those are like, I think the Smogs right now are $20-some. I think the other red border one.
Don't know what I got.
You got a bunch of good cards.
I hope so.
So, Barry, we've already been talking to a bunch of people. We've talked to the guys that have won their rounds. We talked to Savannah about, Nate winning round 1. How you feeling about it today, dude? Like, yeah, thank you, obviously, for, letting me put this random shit together.
Put on the fucking show, and
but he's over here. He got the prizes for us.
I'm ordering pizza now.
He's ordering pizza.
Nope.
He let me do this tournament in his play area.
It's fine. Kyle's my man. He deserves it. And the man behind his camera. I wish I had more energy, but I was up until 6, and I got up at 9, and now I'm here. But I'm glad to be here. Cards are always fun.
Cards are always fun. And we only had 16 people actually be in the tournament today. We had 6 people not show up. But for our first tournament here, dude, I think we're doing
16
pretty
people
good.
showed up?
16 people showed up. We still raise money for a good cause. We still have the raffle that we got to do at some point.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think we're doing good.
That is really good.
All the money that's being raised today from the tournament, from the raffle that we're going to be doing, everything's being donated to the Huntington-Cabell-Wayne Animal Shelter. They have a huge deficit in their budget, so anything that we can make today to help donate is going to chip away at that so they can help feed the animals, give them treats, take them get their shots, their vaccinations, whatever it is that they need done. Yeah, it may not be a huge chunk of change, but like everything we're doing today is...
That's right. What do you mean? $640, that'd probably help one of you motherfuckers out, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Okay. $640, we're going to go down there, and then we're also going to, I don't know what we're going to do. Hopefully go spare some of our time, too. Me and Amanda said we was going to go down and clean out some dog shit from cages and stuff and do that. But if y'all want to donate too, donate to any animal shelter. You don't have to donate to the Huntington Animal Shelter. Save an animal.
Yeah.
Okay? Most of y'all don't like fucking people. Save an animal. What do you say? Save an animal.
Yeah. Everybody, you have a local animal shelter. If not close, you have one somewhere near you. They probably either need volunteers, they probably need treats, funds, or anything. So you might hate people, but what that cute little dog do?
Tracy 3, oh my god.
Pod 3.
You're right. Pod 3 is crazy.
We gotta have the winners at the stream table. So, Ian, seat 1, Tall Alex, seat 2, Brandon, seat 3, good old E. Tolly in seat 4. We hate to see it. God, it's such a horrible spot for a Tolly. All right, y'all get your seats. Oh man, the matchups are fun. I really like Pod 1. You got 2 mono green guys going against each other. But, Alex of Vivi and Evan with Atali. Atali's in a horrible seat, man. You never want to be in a tournament with Atali in seat 4. Really, Pod 2 could pop off. I really could see, Nate winning with Raul here in Pod 2. Probably breaking into the top 4 if he wins this one. Get down to Pod 3. You got another Vivi. You got Nick Fury, Kennan, and actually 2 Kennans in Pod 3. Really, you could see Jason coming out of there. You could see, anybody in Pod 3, you could really see them coming out of there too. I really like Vivi's odds of coming out of Pod 3 with Jason and Vivi. Pod 4 though, these are all 4 guys that play with each other all the time. It's gonna be a tough match, honestly, between these 4. I don't honestly know who's gonna win Pod 4. All right, E-Rock, seat 4. Okay. Yep. So. Once Eric gets seated, then we'll start round 3. It's the final round before the championship round, so do your best. Judge, you good to start round 3?
Yeah. How many rounds are we doing?
3, and then we're cutting to the top 4.
Okay.
All right. Round start.
Obviously, going to see a lot of overlap between Lumra and Yeva mono green decks, drawing from a very similar card pool. I do really like, Brandon has one of my all-time classic favorite cards, former Modern All-Star, Duskwatch Recruiter. At this point in time, kind of relegated to being poor man's Thrasios, but he is playable in mono green, and that's very important because it's the only card you have access to. Seems like we have a knack for hiding whoever is at seat 1. The camera keeps moving by virtue of the fact that it is sort of in the footpath of traffic. Don't really know what you're supposed to do, unfortunately. Gonna see a lot of guys' cradles at this pod. Obviously, I think every deck that can run it is running it, and Lumra definitely takes advantage. Yeva has all those classic untap effects. We got Magus of the Candelabra, classic. Do we have regular Candelabra? I don't see it in this list. One of those motion tracking cams. I think they're just standard webcams, but maybe they're just locking in. It's okay, he won the last game. Everybody's seen him. One new card for Marvel that I don't think has come up too much, but is in tons of lists in this entire event, is Shang-Chi Master of Kung Fu. Because there's so many of these like green creature dork decks, Shang-Chi really good actually because he gives them all pseudo haste. And he just makes 2 mana to spend on activated abilities of creatures, but I don't know how many of those we actually see. I think he's mostly in here for that first effect. But having an even cheaper version of 1000-Year Elixir is really good, and he's super easy to tutor up as a creature. So many of these lists are running this card, and I don't think it's very hard to see why. The one thing I wish I knew that I can't currently tell is what sticker sheets has Atali revealed, because that's important for Name Sticker Goblin. Don't know if he has the 6 or not. Only there was a way I could go find out. But it looks like I think everybody's almost ready to go. So I think they're just currently waiting on the Lumra player to come back at all. So it might still be a minute before we get started. Oh, there we go. Seat 4, and he has the Gemstone Caverns. That is a nice consolation prize for being dead last. Gemstone Caverns, one hell of a card. Absolutely auto-include in pretty much every cEDH deck you'll ever build. And pitching a land, you know, gotta have an abundance of them.
I think it is. I know. Perfect. It would have to be Lotus.
I think they're currently discussing how to perform a turn 1 win in Lumra, which of course revolves around all the classic offenders of turn 1 wins: Fast Mana, Mana Vault, Lotus Petal, Soul Ring. Cards that, you know, everybody's shocked to learn about. Prismatic Vista first is interesting considering that we know he has Lotus Cobra in his hand, but I don't remember how many other fetch lands he had at his disposal, so maybe his options are limited. I'd be shocked if all these green decks don't have a turn 1 play. Honestly, what kind of hands are you keeping if you don't have some kind of mana dork to play on turn 1? Or maybe it's a Vexing Bauble. We saw it do work before, and it definitely does work against Atali. Still love those lands, those Cold Snap Force, Root Maze, evil card. All artifacts and lands come into play tapped.
Trying to make it down.
Let's try to get both of them then.
Yeah. It keeps drifting out of the path of whoever's in that very first seat.
See that bag?
Oh yeah, somebody.
Yeah, Root Maze turning every fetch land into such a devastating play because it comes in tapped, and then you have to fetch a tapped land off of it. Oh, just playing that turn one is vile. Evan having a massive advantage on Atali because he had to play Gemstone Caverns before the Root Maze dropped, so he at least has 1 mana on his first turn, which cannot be said of the other 2 players.
Evan.
Okay, yeah, so he's not in a terrible position. You could ask for worse, especially with Root Maze on the field. The uncounterable effect of Delighted Halfling, don't really see that coming up a bunch this game. You got exactly VV to worry about, and I feel like these VV lists are typically very selfish in the number of counters that they're playing, so they're not really interested in stopping you all that much. I mean, they run the classic sweep, obviously, but beyond that, I don't think he's got a ton to worry about. VV's all about chaining cheap instants and sorceries together, so your deck has to have an abundance of those, and sometimes drawing too many counterspells stands to end your turn. And yep, there's double lands into Lotus Cobra. Gross. Exiled Elvish Spirit Guide to pay for it. He gets to crack that Wooded Foothills this turn, but whatever he gets is still coming in tap, so I'm almost certainly going to have to pass the turn. Root Maze 100% going to slow this game down. Although, because it doesn't affect creatures, if Brandon can stick some stuff here on his turn, he might be able to sort of pull his way out from the symmetry of Root Maze. Firewood Symbiote is a good card, not really good by itself, because he's got nothing to untap. Just sort of running it out there. Yeah.
I had to check because I always forget if it's Pyroblast or Red Elemental Blast.
REB is the one that you have to target a red spell or a blue spell, but Hydroblast says if it's.
Yeah.
And redirect another blue spell.
Yeah, that's it. There's Realms Uncharted. That was the card I thought was played in the last game. Now we're actually seeing it for real. I love this card. You don't see it anymore. But it's so fun. It's such a good land tutor, and especially in Lumira, putting the lands in the bin is functionally the same as putting them in your hand. Like, it doesn't change anything. You get 4 lands. And I mean, there's still ways you can do it, especially with the land from Lost Caverns that copies a land in your graveyard. You can make some pretty nasty piles with this card. I can't see what the pile is because of the glare, but I know that it's not good. That's an Urza Saga. I can tell that's an Urza Saga. Going and getting that Amulet of Vigor off Urza Saga is going to totally destroy the symmetry of this Root Maze, because his lands will now come in untapped. Well, technically they'll come in tapped and then untapped through the Amulet of Vigor, but same as. This definitely, out of the gate, seems like Lumira's game to lose. It's definitely been true so far. He's had such good turn 1 devastating stacks pieces in the both games that I have seen be played. Turn 1 Vexing Bauble, turn 1 Root Maze. Both super devastating stacks pieces. Especially because it hoses these, like, the VV deck that's so reliant on playing cheap mana rocks fast. Once VV gets out, you can sort of play around it because you can use VV to make all your mana, but you have to cast VV first. And unless he's got like an Elvish Spirit Guide next turn, I don't know how he's doing that. Or Simian Spirit Guide, I always get them mixed up. So it looks like we're about to resolve. Let's see, it's Crystal Vein, Mirror Pool, Urza Saga, and I think that bottom land is the Ixalan land that makes a copy of a land in a graveyard. I'd say pretty comfortably in first, but...
pretty comfortably in first. You could... I say we'll see.
Yeah, winning this round is going to be absolutely vital, especially if you have a win on the board. You really need to get a second one to really ensure that you are going to be in top cut, because this is, of course, the final round.
Last round before we go to the chip.
Mox Diamond, such a beautiful, beautiful card. We actually can see a proxy version of it in play over there. Let's actually look at the real version, because it doesn't do it justice. Get the nice original. Yeah, that art is classic. Dan Frazier has so many good, like, mana rock pieces. They give him so many of these cards, and he does them all so well. The Dan Frazier signets are also some of my favorites. There are very few secret layers I wish I had picked up, but those Dan Fraser signet layers are among them because they're so good. The foil etch versions look so sick, honestly. But
Dan Fraser is one of the best.
In the meantime, though, we have missed a very crucial play. A collector roof has hit the battlefield, which a collector roof is on the field. That shuts off the Chrome Mox. That shuts off the Mox Diamond. We are slowly locking everyone else out of the game. We're very rapidly approaching the point of no return. It's honestly dire straits.
Hey.
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, we're watching.
There's so many problematic things that need to be removed from this board. First and foremost, I think Collector Roof has to go. You can theoretically get through Root Maze. I don't know how we're getting through Collector Roof without getting rid of it. There's a Mox Diamond, or not a Mox Diamond, but there is already a Mox Diamond on the field. That's an LED. Can't crack the LED, so totally useless. Although, Root Maze doesn't affect LED. You could have sacked it if it wasn't for Collector Roof, so he could have theoretically played VV, would have had to sack his entire hand, so I don't know that it's really worth it, but he could have. That is a Fin Tornel, so at least he's getting some mana dorks on the field. The nice thing about the fact that you're also a mono green deck against the mono green stacks deck is that a lot of the stacks pieces just aren't going to affect you because you're on the same game plan. The problem is that Loomer has 5 lands in play and it is turn 3, and he also has Exploration plus the Lotus Cobra, so he is going to have a lot of mana this turn. I think we'll probably see Loomer come down, and there it is. Sack that Crystal Vein. Immediately get that Crystal Vein back. Looks like he's also going to get a Cavern of Souls, Abstergo Entertainment, and a Forest, in addition to everything that he binned off of that Realms Uncharted plus the Crystal Vein. Yeah, just disgusting stuff. We're seeing a repeat of last game. It's looking dire immediately out of the gate. Keeping those early game stacks pieces. And unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like Yeva had a particularly strong initial draw. Turn 1 Chromox is fine, but he didn't have anything to play to go with it, and then turn 2 playing nothing but a Wirewood Symbiote with no elf to untap. Not where you want to be. And again, the problem here is that Itali has played a land, but it's a fetch land, so you go get your land and it's going to come in tapped, so you still can't play that Rite of Flame or not Rite of Flame. You still can't play that Desperate Ritual into Geosurge to get your Itali out and theoretically try to cobble a win together. Because you're still on like Simian Spirit Guide or bust. I don't know where we go from here. I think a lot of things are going to have to work together. This feels like a game of Arch Enemy more than it feels like a game of cEDH at this point. All the other players just need to band together to defeat Lumra, and I'm not even sure that they're going to get the chance to do that. I assume that card covered in glare must be Ice Till Explorer, which is going to let him play multiple lands, and every time he plays a land, he mills a card. And he can play lands from his graveyard. This card it does everything. It's all the land effects you need in one concise package. And I believe that is a Chalice on 0 as well. So if you were thinking about playing another Mox that you can't use and comes in tapped, you better think again. I think I pass. I believe I heard. Yeah, because he hasn't done enough damage yet. I think as soon as that Urza Saga gets to Chapter 3 and he gets to search his library for an artifact with mana cost 1 colorless or 0, I think that's going to be all she wrote. He goes and gets that Amulet of Vigor, and I think the game's going to be over. Because I do believe that is the Ixalan land that is a copy of Urza Saga because it was in his graveyard initially. He has 2 Urza Sagas on deck, ready to go. I'm going to read Chalice of the Void. Chalice of the Void says if you cast a spell with a number of counters equal to it, the spell gets countered. So if you cast anything with mana cost 0, it's going to count. Chalice on 3 it looks like he's played, so you can't play 3 drops. Don't know what immediate 3 drops Brandon would want to play at this moment in time, but 3 does shut off Vivi, which is funny, because I think Vivi was already out of the game. There's so many pieces he has to remove to be in the game. And Chalice is the least of his worries at this point. In fact, Chalice is the one he could most likely beat with a Cavern of Souls. I believe we're on Brandon's turn. Again, he's most likely to pass, I would wager. He could theoretically play his commander by bouncing a forest to Wirewood to untap his Fyndhorn Elves, and that is 4 mana, so he could cast his commander, but not a good position after Eternal Land to your hand this early on. Yavimaya would be good if he had a Cradle, because he could bounce the Cradle to his hand and play that again, but we're still under Root Maze. Now, interestingly, I disagree with what Evan is doing here. Evan is sacking the land. He could theoretically, because I believe Chalice is on 3, I don't think there's anything stopping him immediately, although I might be missing something. I'm casting Desperate Ritual, and then, no, he can't, because he doesn't have the necessary red. That's right, because he doesn't have the necessary red, because he needs a 4th red. He would only have 3 from Desperate Ritual, and Delighted Halfling can't make him a red mana to cast Geosearch. So no, he is unfortunately forced to fetch for another red source, because he doesn't have enough. So if they can somehow survive Loomer's turn, and cast a Tali, and maybe get something going. Fading Loomer's turn is a big ask, especially with that Guy's Cradle in the graveyard that you can get back immediately with Ice-Tailed Explorer, and just have an absurd amount of mana at your disposal, more than he already has. Because he's also going to get to resolve that Urza Saga trigger and go get Amulet before he does anything else, which means that his lands are going to start coming in untapped, and he no longer has to worry about that Root Maze. I hear him asking why this isn't the final. This would be quite the blowout if it was finals, but thankfully there is one more game to go, so maybe we can see somebody stand up against this deck. Because I think the writing's on the wall on this one. I have to know if it was a Spite Pact or not now, though.
He was trying to protect.
Oh, but he's gonna have to pass. Oh no. Yeah, that's the unfortunate side of Pact and Negation, is when you have to live to deal with the consequences. There is Amulet of Vigor, exactly like I thought. We'll get that nice matching art so that everyone can tell what it is. One thing that's really neat about Amulet of Vigor that I don't think is going to come up in this game is that multiple Amulet of Vigors stack. Because it's a trigger and not a replacement effect, if he could make a second one with maybe like Mirror Pool, I believe Mirror Pool makes copies of not just creatures, but I could be wrong. He could theoretically get multiple activations of his Guy's Cradle off this way. He has such an overwhelming board presence right now. He is firmly in the driver's seat of this game. He's got Root Maze, Collector Oof, and I think that pretty much... Oh, Chalice of the Void on 3. So, we are playing Mono Green Prison here in cEDH. In case you missed all these lovely cards in Modern, here they are back again. Every bit as mean as they used to be. Emergence Zone. I don't really think Flash Speed is the thing he needs, but sure, why not? It's another land you can sacrifice. That is, I think, important because you can get it back with Lumra. The question currently, though, is how do you get... Ah, I see, yep. Mirror Pool makes a copy of Lumra, Legend Rule it, sack the original, and now you have your Lumra back in the command zone where you want it to cast it again. And he gets Mirror Pool back, so we are dangerously close to a loop. I think he just needs a way to sack his lands, which I don't believe he has just yet. But as soon as he finds it, I think that's going to be game. Shifting Woodland is good. I don't think that's exactly what he needs, but it never hurts. Yep. Huge mills, absolutely huge mills, getting back so many good things. There's the Cradle back again, untapped, ready to go. Bloomer in the command zone, we're going to see it again. Second verse, just as devastating as the first one. Yep, he is demonstrating, I do believe actually he now has the loop because he has 2 lands that sack for mana, and Mirror Pool makes a copy of his commander, so he can just make infinite copies of commander, mill his entire deck, put every land into play, and then from there he can likely do some number of things. Does he have Timeless Witness in his deck? Oh, he has Shifting Woodland, never mind. Okay, yep, so his plan is going to be Gaia Reach Sanitarium to mill everybody out. What a convoluted way to win is being described right now, but he will ultimately deck everybody out by forcing them to draw with Gaia Reach Sanitarium and using Endurance to save himself from decking out, shuffling all his cards back because he can make a copy of anything in the graveyard with Shifting Woodland, and then he can use Mirror Pool to make a copy of that, creating a token and getting that ETB trigger, which will save him and deck everybody else out in the process. So we have once again seen Lumbra take it in pretty dominating fashion. Undefeated going into finals that's a lot of momentum that you have going in. It's a lot of energy, and I mean, he clearly understands the deck, so there's not a lot of question of that. Mulligan strategy, obviously very important, but also hearing him talk out there, it seems like he had just some absolutely devastating draws. And I mean, turn 1 Root Maze, Collector Roof on turn 3, I believe. Yeah, the game, I think it was over the moment he dropped Collector Roof. I don't think there was any coming back from that at that point. Yeva got off to a slow start. Vivi couldn't claim Vivi on turn 3 to get out from under the stacks pieces, and Itali just same thing. Root Maze absolutely hosed him for the entire game. It made it so that his originally like turn 3 Itali play became like a turn 5 Itali play. It wasn't going to happen. So as of now, I don't believe I have gotten word of the rest of the standings. We don't yet have confirmation of who's going to be at this top table for the finals. Obviously, we know Lumra will be represented here. We've got at least one mono green deck showing up to the table. I imagine some combination of Vivi or Crystal will be here purely just because we have so many of them. Hopefully we have some blue decks maybe to keep this Lumra deck in check. Maybe it's not even going to be enough. At any rate, there's so much time left in this round. Such a fast win. I mean, cEDH wins are always fast, but I think realistically this game was over much quicker than it actually ended. But yes, we will be back with more gameplay. We will get back to that final round in just a little bit.
Ian, I'm having to bother you for the 3rd time today, man. I know you're probably upset at me having to talk to you so much, but like, you're 3-0 now, man. You're feeling pretty confident going into this championship round?
So, the last of I do try and not get overconfident, because the last event I played in, I went 5-0 and lost in the finals. So, yeah, anything can happen. Hopefully, we see a repeat next round, and we can get that bag. But anything can happen. We're gonna try to make it happen.
That's all you can really ask for, man. I'm in there watching on the stream, hearing Judge commentate what's going on. Until today, I've never seen Loomer in action. And all I gotta say is, I'm glad I've never seen that thing in action against me, because all I saw is trouble the entire time you've been playing, man. You have locked down the board. You've kept everybody from getting to do the things that their decks do. And it has been a pleasure watching this just unfold. And now, dude, we're just 45 minutes away from starting the championship round, figuring out who your opponents are going to be. We'll see if you got it. Some gas left in the tank.
I certainly hope so. I have a bit of an infamous history of getting pretty tired towards the end of the day and making some mistakes. I've been in I remember one finals game I was in for dual land. It was pretty big, and I fumbled a turn 2 win just because I forgot a trigger. Had it, no one had interaction, fumbled it because I was just tired, gassed. Same thing happened, we played back in SCG Con DC in the finals. I did a really bad misplay with resolving a famished World Star just because you play in Commander for so long. Towards the end of the day, you get really really frazzled. Gotta stay hydrated and stuff, So definitely appreciate bringing the snacks in, the pizza, the water, great stuff. Feeling good. So I'm excited.
Yeah, thank God for Barry. He's always over here doing everything he can for everybody here. Oh yeah. Shout out One More TCG, man. We wouldn't be able to do this with the prizes and stuff and the play area and everything that we've done today without Barry and the team here at One More TCG. It's been, dude, I know it's a shorter day, it's a shorter tournament, probably not as short as it's a little short compared to something you're used to. So getting to have that little bit of extra time throughout the day. I mean, we started at noon, man. It's like barely 4 o'clock, I believe, right now. And dude, not waking up at the crack of dawn, having to be up here, be ready. Got to get a little extra sleep. Now you're rested, you're ready to go. We're 45 minutes till the next round, which is the finals, where we're going to see Lumra trying to beat some ass again. We'll see. I mean, hey, listen, I believe in you, man. I hope nothing for the best. I hope everybody has a good time. Piss off, Frank, I'm talking. God damn it. No. You can give it to me and I'll keep it.
I bet you would.
Yeah. Over here trying to talk to my man. Oh. Over here talking to my man Ian getting interrupted.
Always jumps in interviews all the time.
Yeah, dude, every time, man. I can't have a normal conversation with a guy without
Can't have nothing.
Can't have nothing. Everybody messing up our nice things. But man, dude, I'm excited to see what you're gonna do in the championship round. Hopefully, maybe you repeat, do what you've been doing the last 3 games. But who knows? Could be that blue player in here that stops you from doing your thing.
That force of will is always in their hand, man. You gotta, you just gotta be on the lookout and gotta play to your outs. We're gonna try. We're gonna try and make it happen, but we'll see. We'll take a nice break, wait for the next round, relax a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited.
Hey, man, good luck.
Thanks, boss.
And God, this guy, 3-0, first tournament we've had here. I mean, a guy that I just met today, over here beating everybody. He doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care where your tournament is. He's gonna show up. He's gonna beat your ass, and he's gonna smile as he takes that fucking prize from your regulars that come into your shop.
Don't tell this to the Ohio cEDH community because they beat me up on the regular. It's not even close, dude. It's not even close. They make fun of me because they're like, "You've never won against us on that deck." I'm like, man, shut up.
Hey, but guess what? It doesn't matter what they think, because you know what he's doing today? He's 3-0. He's 1 win away from winning that beautiful Mox Diamond. And his friends and whoever those losers are in Ohio, you can kiss his ass, because he is better than you because you didn't show up to try to beat him today. And I'm going to leave on that note.
All right, welcome to finals. Everybody is playing for a lovely Mox Diamond. Many of our returning players are here, faces you've already seen at the first table, back again now to hopefully stake their claim to this title. Obviously, we have Lumra, undefeated, 3-0 so far. Mike on Timnathras, I believe he is 2-1, memory serves. Brandon on Yeva, I believe he has won 1 game. And then Jason on VV Orniteer. I knew one of these decks was going to be represented in some fashion because between VV and Crystal, there were 4 of these decks in what I believe is a 16-player event. So it was inevitable we were going to see some variant of Curiosity draw 1,000,000 cards here today. Obviously, up to this point, we have seen Ian on Lumra dropping devastating turn 1 stacks pieces, so we're going to see if he can continue that streak today. The first game, it was Vexing Bauble shutting off his opponents, and in this game, or last game rather, he dropped a Root Maze that just backbreaking. Itali player had a Gemstone Caverns, still wasn't good enough, couldn't compete. There's so many interesting lands in this deck. Going through this Lumra deck list, there's so many cards I just don't know by name. It's for every Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, we have a Pit of Offerings, a card that I would have to be seen before I could actually tell you what it did. But we do have all the classics. Ashaya, for all the green, I don't think we have actually yet to see anybody perform an Ashaya combo. Lumra just runs it incidentally because why wouldn't you? And I don't think I personally have not gotten to see Yeva actually pop off with the card, although I do think that most of his mainline win conditions involve Ashaya in some capacity. This is another game where those early stacks pieces may not impact Brandon nearly as much. Last game, his issue ended up being Chalice of the Void, which we can see in Ian's hand already, so that's a dangerous place to be in. But maybe this time he won't actually have the resources to drop it on 3 like he did last time, which was the absolute nail in the coffin. I learned after the fact that Brandon had intended to stop Lumra by playing Formidable Speaker to go get an Endurance. But with Chalice on 3, you can't play either of those cards. This is one where maybe some of those like Root Maze style effects will not come up as much because you have 3 Cradle decks at this pod in varying fashions. Obviously, I think the dedicated Cradle deck is probably Tim the Thras. He is all in. He is not only playing Cradle, he has the Oboro Breeze Caller combo in his deck, so one of his mainline win conditions is going to be that Gaia's Cradle. But of course, because we have all these Cradle decks at our disposal, I think everybody is also running Sowing Microspawn. So everybody also has anti-Cradle tech at their disposal, with the exception of Vivi Ornithir, who can't run that card. So we're going to see if anybody loses their Cradle and gets a Cradle at the same time. That would be very entertaining to see. I'm also still holding out that we might get to see... This is another one where Aura Shards, kind of not really a good card in this matchup. That was one that I highlighted again as a big Rhystic Study hate piece. But only 2 people can play Rhystic Study, and one of them is the guy running Aura Shards in his deck. So, I don't think we're going to get to see that. I love looking through this Lumra list. There's so many evil, vile lands. We have Bazaar of Baghdad. What a card. It very good in this deck. Draw 2, pitch 3 is absolutely so good. It's a powerhouse 4 of staple in Vintage Dredge, banned in Legacy for a reason, perfectly legal in Commander. Easy way to bin your lands and then get them immediately back with Lumra. Card's good. I wish the price tag wasn't pricing me out of some of these cards, because I want very badly to be able to own and play a Bazaar in my casual decks, because that's the kind of thing that I think is fun. Swift reconfiguration. Why did that take me so long? Yes, with Swift reconfiguration, turns Devoted Druid into a vehicle. You can put as many -1/-1 counters on it as you like. Does not matter because it will not die. Yeah, Mike's deck just has so many different combos in it that I don't even think you need to do that much tutoring. If you can just Timna, draw some cards, get some things out there, but in these creature-dense matchups, getting any draws of Tim is probably easier said than done, especially if you have to contend with something as big a blocker as Lumra. It looks like we're almost done resolving mulligans. I think we're just waiting on Mike at this point. As one of the few blue players, I think you have a higher incentive to mulligan because you need to deal with these green combo decks that just do not want to interact with you. Lumra wants to interact only insofar as that it wants to play stacks pieces. It doesn't actually want to play the game on your terms. So getting a way to counter Lumra the first time around, maybe getting a way to remove some of those stacks pieces we've seen up to this point, maybe trying to find a Beseiju, a super good way to remove those pieces, getting... Do not believe Mike runs Force of Vigor, but maybe he does. I'm hoping we'll actually get to see Vivi perform. I think in most of the games so far, we have not gotten to see the deck draw a million cards, which is my favorite thing to do in Magic. After countering spells, drawing cards is the next best thing you can do, but telling my opponents no is the most fun thing I think you can do. Magic is a zero-sum game, and I will have all the fun. It sounds like 2 people have kept 7 card hands, which means that hopefully we'll get to see some real Magic today. Looks like Mike has gone to 5. But fingers crossed, no pre-game actions, no Gemstone Caverns, nobody's playing any ley lines. I would be shocked if somebody put a ley line on the battlefield, but a Leyline of the Void would not be amiss here. It might be amiss in your deck though. I don't really know why you would put that card in there. It would certainly be good at slowing down Lumra until she can remove it. But with no pre-games, it looks like we are finally underway. They're discussing turn 1 win in Lumra. It seems like a pretty tall ask. The stars really have to align on that one. This does not strike me as a deck that really aims to win the game immediately. But the nice thing about this deck is that you're fetching for mono green sources, so you don't have to shock yourself. But in this matchup has no real relevance. But it always just makes me feel good when I can go get a basic forest off a fetch land. And there's Chalice of the Void on 0. Hopefully no early game mana rocks, no Mox Diamonds, no Mox Opals, no LEDs. We'll see what Jason has opted to keep. I did just hear the words definitely got punished, so that cannot be a good thing. Yep, Chalice the Void on 0. Vile. There's a Worldly Tutor. Gonna go get... Maybe a Collector Roof would be pretty funny. I don't know if he's down bad for some mana. Maybe he grabs a Mana Dork. Let's go ahead and update the stream title just to reflect that it's the final, so that everybody knows that this is the penultimate chance to win a Mox Diamond, which conveniently enough, if you tried to cast right now, would immediately be countered. So here's hoping nobody's got one of those in their hand. Although, one of my favorite cEDH decks that I don't get to play nearly often enough is Noctis, Prince of Lucius, whose main game plan is in fact countering your Mox Diamond over and over to up your storm count in order to kill somebody with an Aetherflux Reservoir. Unfortunately, nobody is here representing me on my behalf, so this Chalice is not in fact somebody's win condition. I believe that is Tiller Engine, so that is just one of the many untap effects that this Lubra deck has access to. It is essentially a tutorable Amulet of Vigor, but it does cost 2. Of course, it is more susceptible to creature removal than Amulet of Vigor, which makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Echoing Deeps is that land that makes a copy of a land in his graveyard, which is just the Verdant Catacombs that comes in tapped, not getting to use that this turn. So he will not be playing Tiller Engine unless he has something like an Elvish Spirit Guide, or maybe he has a Soul Ring of his own. There's Carpet. Carpet of Flowers will give him another mana, but it still will not let him play Tiller Engine this turn, because even though Jason, I believe, has a island in the form of a Volcanic, it is not going to be good enough. Turn 2, Thrasios. Not usually where you want to be at, but maybe his hand is just full of interaction. Thrasios would turn on any kind of Deadly Rollick Deflecting Swats, or not Deflecting Swat, Deadly Rollick Fierce Guardianships he has in his hand, so it's not out of the question that he's holding up interaction this way. Ancient Tomb. Jason could cast his commander and have 1 colorless mana left over if he so chooses, which looks like is the play. Gonna go down to 38 to cast his commander. We have actually now seen a turn 2 Vivi, which is good because that's where you need to be, especially in this very combo-centric matchup. And notably want to beat out those stacks pieces. Let's see if Brandon on Yeva can sort of catch up here. Guy's Cradle, great land. Not so great without any creatures to play. But if he has a 1-drop here, he can at least tap it for something. And yep, he has an Elvish Mystic, which will at least give him 1 mana off the Cradle this turn, so could be worse. But notably, it doesn't seem like he has any forest in his hand, because I figure if he had, he would not have played Shifting Woodland first. So it seems like he might be a little bit behind because of that. It's weird to think that a mono green deck could have no basic forest in their opener, but I know that some of these lists don't, I mean, you obviously don't want to run too many, because there are a lot of good utility lands you can still run, even if you're limited to just mono green. Balin's Tomb actually also a good land because it means that there's still only 1 island in play for that Carpet of Flowers, which means he's not getting a ton of mana off of it. It's essentially just another Land of War Elves for the moment. And because he's kind of revealed that, it heavily disincentivizes Jason from playing any more islands if he has them in his hand. But of course, not at the expense of slowing himself down. But if he has like a command tower versus a Steam Vince, he's much more likely to play the command tower. Gotta reach Sanitarium, we know from last game, is one of Ian's win conditions, so it's not really going to do much of anything until then. Glare is totally washing that card out, but I do know based on the way he described it, that is Radagast of Rogzabel. Spell it correctly. First creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less than it casts as though it has Flash. That's a pretty good cost reduction and will let him play Lumra next turn for 4. If he can draw a Soul Land, he might even be able to play that Tiller Engine and then his commander, and that would be pretty good, provided that he gets to resolve both of those things. Flash also does mean that he can cast the Tiller Engine for free on his own turn, and then pass the turn and cast Illumina on the turn after that, or even just wait until Brandon's end step. So this card, very, very strong. He can even flash the Tiller Engine in on Brandon's end step and do the same thing. But, of course, I assume his opponents know that. Mike seems like he is holding up something. I don't know what. Mike's lands are confusing for me. I don't know exactly what mana he has access to. One of it has to be blue because he played a Thrasios. One of it has to be green because he played a Thrasios. If I had to guess, I would suspect he has like a Bayou and an Underground Sea based on the art. Maybe that's hard to tell. These proxy cards, people should proxy, more power to you, but they confuse the absolute hell out of me because I can't tell what they are. I was about to say, he's saying that Mental Misstep gets countered by Chalice. That is not how that works. It is not how much mana you've spent to cast the spell. It is the mana cost of the spell. Yeah, so he's going to rewind that. Seems like they are referring to the judge here, trying to figure out whether or not Jason has to counter his own Rite of Flame, which would be absolutely detrimental. Sounds like they are going to let him take that back, so he's going to cast Rite of Flame, trigger Vivi, have 2 red and his 2 colors from Balin's Tomb. He will not get the second Vivi counter this way, which I believe was his intention. So he still only has 1 blue at most, unless he plays a land, but it doesn't seem like he has a land drop to play. And yes, he's just double checking that, yes, in fact, it is not the amount of mana you spent to cast the spell, it is the spell's mana cost that Chalice of the Void cares about. So the spell must explicitly cost 0. It does not matter whether or not you paid mana for the spell or not. Yes, and there we go. Casting a Mox Amber triggers Vivi, but the spell gets countered, so he does not get to keep the Mox Amber, but he gets the counter, which seems like the thing he cares more about. Building up Vivi is going to 100% be the way that he wins this game. Especially if he is missing his land drop this turn, which seems to be the case. Yep. Niv Mizzet. That is a gigantic curiosity effect. Niv Mizzet Visionary. Every time Vivi triggers now, it'll draw him that many cards. This is the most expensive curiosity effect the deck has access to, but a curiosity effect is a curiosity effect. Card draw is card draw, even if it costs 6 mana. I suspect we're going to see a pretty swingy turn from Loomer here coming up as soon as Brandon goes to pass. There is Shang-Chi. We talked about this card earlier. This card is in many of the decks, including Mike's deck, because it's just so good at giving everything pseudo-haste. It's 1,000-year elixir, but it's a creature you can tutor for, and that is a huge difference maker because it is much harder to find 1,000-year elixir than it is to find Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi costs 2 mana. Notably, Mike actually has an infinite combo because he has Squirrel Girl in his deck, and Shang-Chi will let him make infinite mana provided he has Enduring Vitality in his deck. Or in play, it's in his deck. And he could then make infinite squirrels and have infinite mana, at which point he just wins the game through Thrasios. Circle of Dreams Druid, and it has Pseudo Haste, so it makes 3 mana. I believe all his lands are tapped, so he can't flash in Yeva unless he can somehow make another ritual-style elf put in play. I do believe a Priest of Titania would do it. I think there's enough elves in play. He has 5 mana, but 2 of it can only be spent on activated abilities of creature sources, so he can't use it to cast Yeva. He really only has 3 mana that he can do anything meaningful with. Looks like Brandon is trying to cast something. There is exactly the card I was describing. Priest of Titania. Does that get in there? It's 2 mana for the priest. He has 1 floating. There are 2 elves in play. Gracios in play. Not an elf. The hidden card was... Oh, what was the hidden card? That's right, it's Radagast. Radagast's Avatar Wizard, so unfortunately, Priest of Titania is still not enough to get him to Yevo because it is mana neutral, not mana positive. But he can still activate it, so he still has 3 mana to play with. But I don't think we have any information on the cards in Brandon's hand at this moment, so it's not clear, but he clearly has something he could play because he's making a deliberation. Brandon really needs to stick Yeva here to hopefully put himself in the game. There's an argument to be made if Brandon has the... He might be able to get an Endurance, which would do a lot of work for them here right now if he can just get it off of the Whirlwind Eclipse card. Why am I blanking on its name? Formidable Speaker, thank you. This is a play that he described last game. Green Sun Zenith, X equals 2. Yes, Green Sun Zenith. And that looks like X is 0? Looks like? Because he has 2 mana floating. Unless I've miscounted and there's an elf somewhere on the board that I don't see. But yeah, X's 1 could go get him like a Wirewood Symbiote, which would be huge. So I'm not entirely clear what he's cast it for. Seems like they're deliberating on whether or not this needs to be resolved to. It looks like he's going to Disrupting Shoal, pitching a Mental Misstep to attempt to counter Green Sun Zenith. So it is X equals 0, so he's going and getting something like a Dryad Arbor. And notably, because he's now cast a spell, that lets that lets Jason refill his hand, so he has gotten a little bit more cards to play with. Probably why he was willing to let that go so freely, because I don't know what you're countering for 1 mana against Lumra in this scenario. Oh no, it looks like it is resolving, so X must have been at least 2, or X must have been at least 1. There's Allosaurus Shepherd, trying to insulate himself. That will give him more elves for next turn, which is substantial. So I think we're going to see a pretty neat play here on Brandon's end step. Now this doesn't matter because it's totally irrelevant, but technically you shuffle your library, and then you shuffle Green Sun Zenith into your library. I don't really know why the card is worded that way, it just is. How much more Brandon has left in him. Looks like he has 2 cards in hand. And 2 mana at his disposal. Vivi has 3 counters on it currently. Yeah. And I believe he has exactly 3 cards in hand. Just what he drew off the Niv Mizzet. And there's Fanatic of Ronus, yet another mana dork. Brandon has so much mana on his next turn, but it looks like he has 1 card in hand, so that 1 card better be a way to utilize all that mana. Notably, I think that Brandon does not have Ferocious, so he cannot tap the Devoted Fanatic of Ronus for 3. There is Tiller Engine on Brandon's end step, exactly like I thought would happen. Mike is trying to cast... Oh, he's activating Thrasis. Looks like he's trying to find an answer to the Tiller Engine before Ian gets to untap. Looks like somebody does have a Force of Will. They're talking about it, but they're waiting on Lumra, it seems like. Now, of course, if Ian drops his own Allosaurus Shepherd, this is going to be a moot point. Looks like currently it has 2 lands in his graveyard. They're not stellar, so Lumra really needs to hit some good stuff here. He doesn't technically have to go for it here, because Radagast gives him the ability to play his cards at flash speed. He could just pass the turn, sort of let everyone else duke it out. Yep, and it sounds like he is going to exactly pass the turn. Doesn't really need to do anything. Jason, with that Niv Mizzet, is somewhat threatening, and so probably needs to be dealt with. So he might be able to get Mike to use his interaction against Jason first, and then once he's done that, actually play his Lumra. Of course, the problem is Force of Will doesn't stop the Vivi engine because Niv Mizzet is the problem, and Niv Mizzet is on the field. He needs a way to remove Vivi or remove Niv Mizzet. Currently discussing whether or not Michael will Force of Will Lumra if he tries to cast it. He's shrugging, but I think there's a pretty safe answer in yes. that almost certainly would happen. But we're not going to find out right now because Ian is passing. Mike gets to untap and maybe go for the win. This is not a bad time to try it. He's got it. Vivi's tapped out. Vivi has 3 cards in hand. The odds that Jason has any interaction is low. He would have to have something very free and very cheap. Fierce Guardianship seems like the only real target. Mockingbird X = 1, gonna copy something. I had to guess, I'm gonna guess Shang-Chi. Because we know the card is in Mike's deck. Stands to reason he would want a copy of it. So yes, I was in fact correct. Mike has copied Shang-Chi with his Mockingbird exactly like I thought he would. Notably though, unlike Brandon, he does have an outlet for that Shang-Chi mana. He can put it into Thrasios if he so chooses. So it does do something. He has a Thrasios activation, but unfortunately no matter how he spins it, he does need to tap that mana vault currently. Pyrokinesis from Vivi. Pretty good draw spell here. Pyro target players. I believe it does not. It only targets creatures. Yep. Of course, irrelevant because he's still going to draw 3 cards with the Pyrokinesis regardless, but he might be able to clean up some of the board state a little bit. Tiller Engine seems like a priority. Allosaur Shepherd seems like a priority. Circle of Dreams Druid is a priority. Priest of Titania is a priority. There's a lot of things on the board that need to go, but conveniently, most of them, 1 power. You can pretty much wipe all 3 of them out, because each one only has 1 toughness. He's essentially played a small board wipe and drawn 3 cards. Trying to argue not to destroy the Allosaur Shepherd, but saying he has 1 card in hand. The problem with Allosaur Shepherd is the Allosaur Shepherd doesn't do anything that benefits Jason's problem. I don't think there's much of an argument to be made to leave it on the field. Three pings on Tiller Engine. That is interesting. Does he have a way to save it that I can't see? I don't know why we're not targeting Brandon's board more here. These green combo decks are fairly selfish and insulated. I don't really see the point in letting him keep the Circle of Dreams Druid or the Priest of Titania. Instead, he is all in on removing that Tiller Engine, which I do believe only has 1 power. No, it is a 1/3. I had it backwards. So yes, he does have to commit at least 3 pings to that, but you could take out Circle. Allosaur Shepherd probably seems like the correct target if you're going to do that. Because it lets them interact with Brandon again. And we know Mike has Force of Will in his hand, so Brandon has something like a Dustwatch Recruiter or a Creature Tutor. He would be in a really good position. And there it is. Ian casting Lumra, Mike opting not to play that Force of Will. It looks like Jason might have something of a response. Maybe he's just trying to draw some answers. Every spell does, in fact, draw him 3 cards. Final Fortune. Jason is all in. Everybody's passing priority. Jason's going to draw 3 cards. The spell is not yet resolved. They're currently arguing about the casting of it. Arguing about timing of triggers and resolution. They could realistically respond to the VV trigger, they're just opting not to. Casting Snapback. Targeting Tiller Engine in response to Pyrokinesis on the stack. Jason is, 100% all in, but as long as he gets to keep that Niv Mizzet, he draw tons and tons of cards. He's about to draw 3 more off this Snapback. Final Fortune in a dream. Final Fortune and a lot of cards in a dream. Because when Jason goes to pass his own turn, he'll have probably at least 9 cards in his hand. Because he's about to draw 3 more, he's back up to 7. He still has VV activation, he still has Balin's Tomb, Ancient Tomb on the field. Yep. Killer Engine in his hand, Loomer back on the stack. Jason not wanting to take any chances on him potentially milling his way out of this scenario by hitting some of the best lands in his deck, which he did not get. He only gets Beseiju, and he gets Wooded Foothills, plus he gets his Cave back, and his other fetch land. And they all come in tapped. I think Jason's Final Fortune seems risky, but I think he's in a pretty good position. I think it's less scary than it looks. Just because he has Niv Mizzet on the field. It's so many cards. He has a million spells. It's like Chalice checking in reverse. He casts the pact, Chalice goes on the stack. It happens, but it doesn't matter. He was just seeing if Brandon was awake, I suppose, and he is in fact awake. So Brandon gonna go get something before his Allosaur Shepherd leaves him vulnerable again when it dies. I feel like realistically he's probably digging for a Shaya. I don't know. Is there a better target for him? Duskwatch Recruiter, honestly, not bad here. It's a draw engine. He has mana. Mana's not the problem. The problem is he needs cards. And Shang-Chi can activate that Duskwatch Recruiter. Yisan the Wanderer Bard. That's also a pretty good one. That will let him climb the chain. He goes and gets a 1. 1 is Wirewood Symbiote. Goes and gets a 2 to a Scrib Ranger. Goes and gets a 3. 3 is Hydrax Tower Scout. Goes and gets a 4. 4 is probably Teamer Sabertooth. Bounce Yisan to hand. You can do it again. Is there an untapper on 4? I can't quite remember. Yisan the Wanderer Bard. Classic cEDH commander. I played this back in the day. It is just Birthing Pod on stick, except you don't have to sacrifice anything. This card is very good, and the chains are numerous. There are a lot of things he can do with this, and I think if it gets to burn this turn, Yisan might just win in the game, especially because Shang-Chi gives it haste. And pays for some of the cost, which is not nearly as important because Brandon has a million mana. But we do have to get to Brandon's turn first, because Jason has resolved Final Fortune, so he's going to get another turn where he's either going to win or he's going to die. And we know that Mike has a pact in his hand, so it's not out of the question. Blazing Shoal, gonna buff Vivi even further. Banned in Modern, this card is. And we're learning why for a different reason. Of course, in Modern, the game plan was to pitch something like a Dragonstorm to this card, to give an infect creature +9/+9. Here, we're just trying to make a gigantic Vivi to make a whole ton of mana. I actually don't know what he pitched to Blazing Shoal. The Ragavan? Okay. So pretty small all in all. He's only getting a +1, +2 if we count the VV counter also. But of course, it's 3 cards. Invoking out Crowd's Favor, really nice. Don't even have to activate VV. It's literally a free spell. Gets another counter, draws 3 more cards. Jason, Jason's gonna have a hard time losing this game. Playing a Mox, getting it countered, does not matter. It's a 0 mana, draw 3 cards, make a mana in the future. I imagine he will dump as many of these cards as he has out of his hand, because they're all just... every one of them's Ancestral Recall. There's another Ancestral Recall. Gutshot, Notorious All-Star. I was gonna say, Jason's debating where to point it, but if he points it at somebody's face, he does get to draw a card off the deal. But yeah, it looks like, nope, he has been convinced to target Circle of Dreams Druid, kill that. He changed the target. It was actually pointed at Circle of Dreams Druid, so he just draws 3 cards here. There's Mana Vault. It's 3 more cards. He still has not activated VV. VV has 11 counters and a +1, so that is 12 mana. Plus the Mana Vault cast, which I don't think he's put yet. There we go. So he has 13 mana to play on this turn. And he still has another turn after this. Cast Chrome Mox, get a counter, get it countered, draw 3 cards. I think the writing's on the wall. Also, they're all taking incidental pings. Not that it really matters. We're past the point of that it mattering. Casting LED, drawing 3 cards. We are on triple-digit dice on this VV now. Still not activated it, but I think we're going to see it soon. He's run out of mana to spend. No, that's not even true. He has... I think that's an Arcane Signet. Once again, these Secret Lair cards, I really can't tell. Nope, he is activating VV here, making a cool, calm 16, 17 mana. Just a nice, cool 17 mana here. Spending, I believe he said 5 of it on something. Quicksilver Elemental. That is the card that necessitates an answer, but it looks like Mike does not have anything to pitch in that Force of Will that I believe we know he has in his hand. So it's going to resolve. Quicksilver Elemental, for those uninitiated, will make a copy of VV. Quicksilver Elemental makes a copy of VV, lets you activate the ability. You can activate Quicksilver Elemental again to regain the abilities of VV, make the mana again, and repeat that for infinite colored mana. And because there's another way to draw cards, he is just going to draw his entire deck. Because everything is free, he's going to draw 6. Notably, though, I don't think he realizes this. Niv Mizzet is not a May.
Which I will.
Niv Mizzet is not a May. So yeah, so he has to draw 3 cards every time. So if he's not careful, he might deck himself out. But I don't think anybody's noticed yet. But if it comes to it, we will have to call a judge. But it looks like Mike is willing to concede, so I don't think it's going to come up. And that will do it. Jason has won the event, and he has claimed that Mox Diamond for himself off the power of VV, just showing why these curiosity effects are so good. Niv Mizzet may cost 6 mana, but it doesn't matter if it wins you the game, as long as you can play it. Brandon was very close. There was a lot of contest there. I think Mike was the only one who really failed to get off the ground. Everybody else had a pretty commanding position at one point. I do believe that if Brandon had been able to get to his turn, that he would have actually stood to win the game. But none of that matters now, because Jason has claimed the title. Final Fortune didn't even need the other turn. Did not even need to go to his Final Fortune turn. He just had it. What a win. Lumra finally bested in the 11th hour, when Jason needed it the most, and he is face down on the table. An exhausted win is a win, nevertheless. Yep, they're currently discussing Force of Will did in fact keep Ian in check, stopped him from laying his commander when he wanted to. Tried to play it on Jason's turn, but Jason had the out to stop him from pulling any kind of shenanigans, which even if he hadn't done that, I don't think he would have hit. But now Jason can sub out that proxy Mox Diamond that he's just set aside for the real deal as he takes the victory. What a card to add to any collection. What an event. Honestly, what a pretty good game. There was a lot of actual, like, it didn't feel like any one person ran away with it right until the very end when Jason managed to somehow go all the way around without his Niv Mizzet being contested, which I guess in a green matchup, not that uncommon. They were really relying heavily on Mike to deal with Jason, and he just didn't have the resources to do it. Couldn't pull it out. But thank you everyone for watching. It's been a blast. I hope to commentate again for you sometime in the future. Hopefully we will have Jason on here in a little bit to talk about his win. But until then, thank you. We will be back in just a little bit.
So, hey everybody, if anybody is still in here watching, Jason, aka Dr. Bling, just won our tournament. It has been a wonderful day. You know, it didn't take nearly as long as I thought the tournament would take, but we had a good turnout. We raised a lot of money for charity, and everybody came in here. We had a great time, and I cannot wait to do this again. So I'll tell you guys what I just told on camera for the YouTube video that we're doing is November 14th. Time is undetermined. We will be hosting another charity cEDH tournament here at One More TCG. We'll announce the charity, the prizing, and everything in the next few weeks. But be prepared. Come out. Join us. Have a good time. We will be live again. We'll have Josh Beiser, Judge, and we'll have Michael Spence on commentary. Obviously, you'll have me on the mic as well. And we all know how much fun I am. We'll have, obviously Barry's going to be around. Hopefully we get him to have a little more sleep for next time. But, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I had a hell of a good time. And I will see you guys next time. Guys, we had to take a second to get everything together. Had to let Jason calm down after the win. But damn, the tournament is finally over. We have our winner. It is none other than our local Jason. God, man, Jason just won a Mox Diamond, dude.
I'm now 3 cards away from having a complete deck, non-proxy.
Yeah. So how does?
Oh, sorry, I'm just staring at it because it's beautiful. Sleeve playable, absolutely beautiful.
How does it feel? How'd the game go, man? Tell me how it went.
Honest to goodness, I was really shocked I won that because at any point after I got Nivmet, Mike had a force, so I was waiting for that to do something. But for whatever reason, I think he just knew it was kind of inevitable at that point, so there's no point in stopping it. But I think I played everything as well as I could. I got very lucky with my tiebreakers to get into top 4. I want to thank you, first of all, for setting this up.
Dude,
thank One More, of course, for providing the prize. And I was already in my head, I was already spending the $100 for top 4 on that Mind Stone in there. Because I was like, Vivi against decks that just basically win on their own. Like, the green decks are insane. Everyone here played insanely well.
Yeah.
I'm just so unbelievably taken aback. Like, I'm not here right now. I have stomach issues, so I have not eaten yet. I'm shaky. I'm freaking out. I'm just so happy to be here right now, dude. That's awesome.
Honestly, because I've been asked multiple times throughout like the last couple of weeks, like who do I see winning? Who do I see getting in top 4? And I made arguments for everybody we play with. I'm like, I made an argument for you, Mike, everybody else, and I'm like, I don't know because I play with all these guys all the time, and they take turns beating the crap out of each other. So it's a free for all to see which one of. Now, Graham, we had Ian who doesn't come around here and plays elsewhere, but like, dude,
he plays very well.
Dude plays very well.
Loomer's a scary beast,
kicking some ass.
Oh yeah,
and all the regulars that we have here. Like, you didn't know how the deck was going to perform. You don't know what cards you're going to get. You could get bad mulligans. And we see how
I had the mulligan to 5.
Yeah.
I did not see that happening. Like, I just got very lucky because Niv Mizzet is like my Hail Mary curiosity effect. Sorry for over talking.
Oh no, dude, you are good. And it's nuts. Okay, now I'll tell you guys. Y'all been waiting this entire time. So I'll tell you why I'm interviewing my boy. November 14th, here at One More TCG, we're doing another charity tournament. The charity is yet to be determined. We've been talking about doing like an Angel Tree thing, maybe doing Ronald McDonald House. There's a couple other ones that we've been discussing. I told everybody for the last few weeks, I was like, I don't know if I got the energy to put it on another one again. I was like, I've been stressed about it. But seeing everybody in here having a good time, I'd already made a basic idea, and seeing how much fun everybody was having, I was like, dude, I'm gonna, like, while we're not recording, while we're not on the live, why not just go ahead and get it done? Because we can get it done. We already got guys. We got Beiser over here, aka Judge, commentating like a beast.
Here, but he is the judge.
We got Cody over here as our judge.
Cody, thank you.
Cody, awesome. Thank you again, man. Awesome.
Being a judge, being the man. Thank you.
I like it when people ask me questions.
Okay.
So we are here. Hey, don't give him my shot, bro. But November 14th, we've got our judge lined up. We got Josh over here going to be on commentary or playing. We don't know yet.
I know.
But we also have one of our other buddies,
and I was going to go till I saw
on commentary that day anyway. So, guys,
I had a
we're going to go ahead and get a flyer ready here within the next few days, letting you guys know the time. You already know the place and you know the day. We'll announce pricing and everything in the next few weeks. We'll announce the charity in the next few weeks as well. So until then, have a blessed time. time. Love you guys, and thank you for watching. And also, like, comment, subscribe to One More TCG on all socials. Or I'll be upset. Just do it because I said so.
I can't believe I won a tournament.
Oh my God.